What's going on, traders? Wanted to do a recap of the S&P 500 for you today, Thursday, March 9th. Blood in the streets, markets down 1.84%, final print 391.56. We've actually continued to sell off in Globex, trading around 388.75 or so here late, or I guess early morning, 1 o'clock, Friday, March 10th, as I'm recording this. But let's go over the price action as far as the daily is concerned. As you know, I have been in a short trade that I have initiated last Friday as we came back into this wider consolidation zone that we've been watching, kind of putting in a bit of a gravestone Joji. So I had to take a little bit of heat on Monday. I could have added into this position, however I chose not to because it was a counter trend trade. However, it would have been completely reasonable if I had, just considering the fact that we also had come right into this downtrend, as well as the base of this previous area that we broke down out of. Let me draw that line in for you really quickly. You can see the base right here, a little bit higher. All right, it's not to the T, but that's fine. You can see the base here that we broke out of, came right back up, retested, sold down, down, down. So came back there, points of contact, boom, boom. Okay, and really, for my short trade, as I had mentioned, looking for maybe coming into that 401.30 zone. 400 is also what I mentioned as a likely retest as far as a retracement was concerned. Posted that on Twitter when I alluded to my short trade that I was taking last Friday. Now, of course, we got way more than that. In our last recap video, we did go over this bear flag that was starting to form here. So I pointed this out. Now, I actually had thought that we might get one more smaller body candle before making this move down. However, I will take this. You can see we had come up, basically retested the highs from February 27th, point of contact here and here. And if we want to go back to January 24th, also another point of contact here. So 3 touches on this resistance and big move down. We saw a move down this large because we're on the longer time frame. So this is something to keep in mind of, that you see bear flags, of course, on a 5-minute chart, 15 hourly, and the longer the time frame, the bigger the move you're usually going to get. So daily bear flag, what do we get? A huge move down. All right, so now we've broken out of this range to the downside, coming into a really interesting spot, back into this downtrend line here, the last line of defense for the bulls. Be interesting to see how this plays out. Are we going to do a mirror image and kind of do a fake out here and then move back into the consolidation? It's possible. So it's something that we want to be aware of. A Momo here not showing any oversold conditions though, so I will point that out. Let's go to the daily trends really quick before we get into today's intraday price action. If we're going into the daily trends here, again, an interesting spot as far as the bulls, really their last stand. We're starting to push back into this I don't know if it's a year, but the bigger downtrend that we have been trading against for some time. And if we start to break under this trend line, you can see, of course, we've looked at this. This is nothing new that we've been looking at. But if we break under, we have to be careful as far as the bulls are concerned. I have no bias personally. I'm out of my short either way. I will just trade whatever the market gives me. But at least from the bulls standpoint, if we start to crack this trend line, now I don't know if it will be tomorrow. I think that probably would be unlikely. But if we come down further in the month and start to break it, watch out below. That is not a good sign for the markets. So really quickly, let's get back into this really quickly. All right. Actually, I didn't have anything more to say here. Yeah, I didn't have anything more to say here, so this is fine. All right, so let's get into the day's price action. Pretty easy day, to be honest. The gap up was a little bit tricky, but after we really started to break down, it was really clean price action. Nice trend day, of course. And so watching this M pattern here in the morning. Now, we did gap up in the morning, which I think was a little bit tricky. I did try to play some calls. We were still holding over 400 and 4,000 on futures. So for me, I was willing to take a couple of stabs at it. But once we started to break this, you can see we had a point of contact here around this 399.35 here again. So 3 taps on this bottom. Once we started to finally break that base, that structure, I was actually looking for, of course, the short trade at that point. Got out of my longs, but we had come back up, retested this previous base, and I took the short here right around 12:30, and at that point we were off to the races. I was, of course, taking profits. Bear flag again, took some profits. Bear flag again, took some profits again, and I actually exited just as we broke really this 394.20. I didn't think we were going to break that. I mean, we broke that 397.50. My next big major level to the downside was the 394.20 zone. And I didn't think that we had much more of that. I mean, you're never going to be able to get the exact top or bottom on any trade. As long as you get a piece of the pie, that's fine. I could have really gotten another 30 points out of futures here. I got about 45 or so, and about a little over 100% on the intraday puts, and then 240% or something like that, 245% on my swing. The swing trade I did hold down actually pretty much to the lows, but the intraday puts I did not. My futures trade I did not, but that's fine. But what a move after we had really run those stops at that 394.20 zone. Called that as a short level on my Twitter, but after we started breaking down, I was kind of radio silent on Twitter today because I was really just focusing on the move. But either way, clean price action, riding the 9 and the 20 all day, and it was really, really crisp and easy to trade. Other than that, as far as tomorrow is concerned, of course, we're going to watch the 390. That's really my breaking point. We're going to have to see how we open, but my loose bias would be for some type of a regression back up. So I'll probably, excuse me, be looking more to the long side tomorrow, and then maybe flip back short. But let's just go back here. Okay, so we could see just a retest back up to this trend line here, and then we come back down. Could see a push all the way back up to the lowest part of this consolidation zone that we have been watching. So that's around 393.50. I don't think that would be out of the question, and then potentially seeing some rejection to come back lower. If we look at the daily here, as I was talking about earlier, I could very much see about a 25%. I don't know, maybe 25 might be a little bit higher than this. See about a 25% retracement on this candle, retest this broader consolidation, then make our next move lower. Or we can get about a 50% retracement. So as we saw this, the top here, multiple points of contact as we went over later, maybe we come in to the highs of this candle here, maybe around 396, 397, 396.75. Point of contact here, point of contact here, another zone right around here. So that's another scenario that I'll be watching for. Will I initiate another short? Maybe at that point. I mean, I'll have to think about it. We're not there yet, but but it's definitely something I'll be watching. Maybe intraday, I'll be watching for those shorts here, or even a retest of the 394.20 big area as well. That I'd be interested in possibly shorting against. But as far as chasing the short down tomorrow, I personally am not interested too much in that idea. Like I said, I'll probably be looking for more longs up into some of those short areas that I would consider. So that's my loose bias, but I will, of course, assess things in the morning in chat and then go from there. But yeah, that's all I have for you. Great day of trading today. I thoroughly enjoy a trend day, of course, and I hope you guys got to take advantage as well. And I wish you the best on Friday. Will probably be a half day for me, but I will see what I can work up in the markets. So I hope everybody has a great day, and we'll see you on the weekend recap on Sunday, or maybe Friday, or maybe Saturday. Depends when I record it. All right, take care.